What's good, Zazama? Welcome back to another Zahier reaction video. And today we reacted to Mom Says About Her Skeleton. Hey, if y'all hear my daughter, don't mind. You know what I'm saying? But Mom says about her skeleton baby, I just fed him. Okay, so I'ma just call this my asshole of the day episode. You know, people that do shit to their kids, they're definitely assholes and they should be treated as such. Like this girl. I don't give a damn if it's a man or woman. If you hurting kids, then you ain't shit. And that's just how I look at things. Like, for the fact that you have enough gall in you to harm a child, especially your own kids, it's like you're weird. You're weird as fuck, and you should be in jail for the rest of your life. No questions asked. But with all that being said, we're gonna get right into this video. But before we get into this video, don't forget to leave this video a like, a comment, and subscribe. Also, go show love to all the channels that's gonna be in my description box down below. Those same channels are gonna be in my featured channels as well. So go show love, man, because it does not cost a single thing to show love. And with all that being said, we're gonna get right into this video. So without further ado, let's get to it. Cue the intro.
At about 5:26 a.m., during the height of the pandemic in many areas, 29-year-old Shantavia Hayden showed up at the Children's Hospital of Michigan with her 7-week-old son wrapped in a blanket. His name was Amir Griffin. The little boy was not breathing. His skin was cold and blue, and he appeared to be suffering from something that the hospital staff couldn't cure him from: rigor mortis. Little Amir had been dead for a few hours before he even was brought to the hospital.
Shantavia Hayden was a mother of 4 from Warren, just a 19-mile drive north of Detroit. She was a graduate of nearby Highland Park High School and, for a time, worked as a line worker at the Dearborn Sausage Factory.
Okay.
By all accounts, Amir's father didn't appear to be present in either Shantavia or her son's life. Of her children, other than Amir, she had a 1-year-old daughter and 2 sons, ages 6 and 7.
As such, Shantavia received assistance from the state of Michigan, which will become important as our story progresses.
Okay.
By now, she was no longer working for the sausage factory and relied on benefits. In the 4 months preceding Amir's birth and subsequent death, she received $15,000 in unemployment compensation, food stamps, and cash assistance. She had also received 16 cans of formula from the WIC program. For those of you who are outside of the United States, WIC is a program put on by the U.S. Department of Agriculture that aims to safeguard the health of low-income women, infants, and children up to age 5 who are at risk by providing nutritious foods, information on healthy eating, and referrals to health care.
But why is this important? Well, Amir was very malnourished. Now, according to Dr. Jennifer Noble, who's an emergency room physician at the Children's Hospital of Michigan, the bones are very prominent. The skin is draping around the bones because there is no fat left. The fat has been used. Despite Amir's appearance and the fact that he was clearly cold and blue, she and another doctor still conducted life-saving efforts on a whim that they could possibly help this poor baby boy. But sadly, he had been gone for far too long. As such, Amir was pronounced dead 13 minutes after arrival. According to Dr. Noble, she spoke with Shantavia briefly before life-saving efforts began, and again after Amir was pronounced dead. Dr. Noble characterized Shantavia as saying she was very distraught. She wasn't able to answer questions clearly, and she was unable to provide a coherent explanation of what happened.
That's what I'm be saying,
However,
bro.
what Shantavia did tell—
That's what I be saying, bro. These parents don't be giving these kids a chance, bro. It's like, you can't save all of them. You can't save all the kids, bro. You can't. It's children out there that could be going through the most terrible experience that, you know, a person could go through, you know, and by the hands of their very own parent, the ones that birthed them and the one that's supposed to protect them, brought them into the world and all that, could be the one that's putting their child through that experience. So you just gotta think about shit like that. Like, that is very crazy. And it's crazy that a parent could feel like it's cool for them to do shit like that. Like, It's not. Like, you're damaging your child. You're passing on the cycle. So the way you're treating them is how they're gonna treat their kids and think that's okay. It's just crazy to me, in my opinion. We all about breaking generational curses over here. You know what I'm saying? So I just hope that other people could take that to account and not traumatize their kids. You get me? I feel like everybody in the world has done enough due diligence in being traumatizing and hurting each other, because you know, hurt people at the end of the day. Hurt people, and that's just the way of the world right now. People just hurting people for no reason because they're fucked up. So if I feel like I'm fucked up, then I want you to feel like you fucked up too. Like, no, like, shit's only getting worse. But I hope and pray shit get better in the next upcoming days. If not, hey, it is what it is. But hopefully it does, though, because the world is definitely in a dark place right now, especially with these babies. These babies shouldn't be going through shit like this. But I'm not going to be a broken record and keep saying the same shit. We're going to get right back.
Tell Dr. Noble did not correlate with a baby who had been dead for at least 2 to 3 hours.
Damn.
She told her she had attempted to give him food a couple of hours before taking him to the hospital in her own vehicle. It should be noted that Shantavia never called an ambulance. Dr. Noble stated that the mother shared with her that Amir had been quiet all day and he had whined around 3:45 a.m. At that time, she changed his diaper and attempted to feed him. 1 hour prior to coming to the hospital, she noticed he was not moving and his skin had changed color.
But that's
However,
another thing. Some women take that money that they get.
He was breathing weirdly and he would open his eyes. According to Dr. Noble, Amir was cold. His temperature was 91.2 degrees, which is well below the average range of an infant's temperature of about 96.8 up to 102.2. She went on to state that this was only the second time in her entire career she had ever seen a child arrive at the hospital in such a malnourished condition. However, she did not know the cause of the malnutrition, and that it could be due to a medical issue. We'll get into the rest of the story in just 1 minute. Please stay with us for the following ad. It not only supports the show,
if y'all want to get through this, y'all can just skip through it. I don't know why they be doing that shit. But nah, like I was saying though, she could have been taking the money that she was getting from the state and then just buying shit for herself, which is selfish as fuck.
Are you injured and don't know where to start?
That type of shit happens.
Whether you made an unfortunate mistake or if it's not your fault at all, Morgan & Morgan has your back. Submitting a claim for an injury doesn't have to be confusing. There's no need for you to visit law offices and sit through timely consultations. In 8 clicks or less, you can submit a claim to Morgan & Morgan without ever having to leave the couch.
Only reason I ain't skipping this shit
Morgan &
yet
Morgan has modernized the injury law process, making it so easy to submit a claim. You can submit your case details, sign contracts, and upload documents and medical records, all from your cell phone. Best of all, you only pay if they win. If you don't win your case, you pay nothing. All calls, meetings, texts, time, and effort put into your case are completely free of charge. If you're ever injured in an accident, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/themiserymachine or dial #law. That's #529 from your cell phone. Thanks, and back to the episode.
According to ER nurse Katie Isles, she was tasked with taking Amir to the morgue. She arrived in Amir's room and found Shantavia holding him in a blanket, seated in a chair.
Okay.
The mother was visibly upset. Amir was placed on a bed so that she could toe tag him. Now, upon viewing Amir's frail frame, the nurse was shocked. She said, quote, "It took my breath away a little bit.
Yeah.
The baby was emaciated, sunken cheeks. You could see all of his ribs. His eye sockets were sunken in. It was horrible." End quote. According to Deputy Wayne County Medical Examiner Dr. Lee Havlati, the cause of death for 7-week-old Amir was the most graphic demonstration of starvation she had ever seen in her career. And sadly, I believe her. She shared that Amir's case is among those that stand out among her 8,000 autopsies spanning over 20 years in the field. She stated, quote, "CA cases are incredibly difficult for everybody. These cases stay with you. This is the most graphic demonstration of starvation I have ever seen.
In a 7-week-old,
I knew as soon as I saw Amir's body, it was a starvation case," end quote. She said the body was essentially skin and bone, and there was no fat, and there was very little muscle left on his extremities. According to Dr. Havlati, His body had first used fat and then consumed his muscles in an attempt to stay alive. When she performed an autopsy on his body, he had an empty stomach and bladder, and he had no stools in his intestines. She stated it had been at least a week since he had seen a meal. If there was some meal given intermittently to him, there would have been some stool. There was inadequate nutrition for several weeks. She said medical intervention at the time or any time a few hours before his death could...
So clearly the mom wasn't feeding him. That's just about the size of it. But the fact that he was 7 weeks old, that's a crucial time for a baby to eat. When they just get out the stomach, when they're just born, they have to eat a lot. They have to gain weight in order to live. So the fact that she wasn't feeding him and he was only 7 weeks old, that's just like, what the fuck? And you getting all this government assistance, but that's what I said before. A lot of times a child's mother could get government assistance and pocket that money and then just use it for whatever the fuck she want to use it for. There are a lot of times they don't use it on the kids, they use it on themselves. But see, there's no law in place to hold them accountable for shit like that though. They just know that they have to give the money to the mother, the money to the mother, the money to the mother, but they don't actually take account what the hell is this bitch spending the money on. You get me? So it's just, that kid could not be eating at like this case. The kid wasn't eating, and just one of God's children being brought back home early after just being brought onto the earth. But that's what I'm saying. There should be laws in place that'll first hold their asses accountable, hold the guardian or the main parent that has the custody of the child, hold their asses to a certain standard, like hold them accountable for if anything happens to the child. And also it should be something in place where they could only use the money for certain situations, like give them a card and say that it's only like for this things, like it's only for food, it's only for like necessities towards a child. Basically, like anything that's important to a child, that's what that's for. It's not just for you to spend it on whatever the fuck else. I wouldn't be surprised if they said that she pocketed it. I won't be surprised, bro. I really won't. But let's get back. I bet you I'm right.
Could have saved his life.
I bet you.
Tests showed no medical condition or disease was present to potentially cause Amir not to properly absorb nutrients. According to Dr. Hovladi, there was nothing else abnormal about Amir. It appeared that he had no medical reason to starve to death.
Amir's birth records indicated that he was a normal baby, though he was small and had a cocktail of drugs in his system. Apparently this wasn't enough, and they thought the drugs wouldn't have permanently affected him, so he was released from Ascension St. John Hospital after 4 days. He weighed 5.5 pounds at birth, which is towards the low end of the range for a newborn baby. At his death, he weighed 4.7 pounds. By 7 weeks old, Amir should have gained about 2 to 4 pounds, according to the Mayo Clinic.
Right.
Due to Amir's state and suspicious death, officers from the Warren Police Department began their investigation. Shantavia had been staying with her sister at Warren Manor Apartments off DeQuindra Road north of 8 Mile Road. To give her sister a break, she and her children went to the Red Roof Inn in DeQuindra and 11 Mile Roads in Warren for the weekend of October 10th through the 11th.
According to evidence technician Robert Horlager, who was on the scene at the hotel, investigators found 4 empty baby bottles, 1 empty and 1 full can of powdered infant formula, and 2 diapers in the room. He said that he could not determine whether the diapers were for Amir or Shantavia's 1-year-old daughter. To me, that's weird. You can definitely tell the difference between a newborn diaper and diapers meant for toddlers.
No shit.
During her police interview, Shantavia repeatedly said that she fed her baby. Now, after the questioning was over, she was alone in the interview room, and she said, quote, "I don't know what the F to do. I hurt my baby," end quote. Now, apparently, Shantavia didn't have enough common sense to know that those rooms are fitted with both audio and video recording devices.
Right.
Due to the medical examiner's findings, as well as evidence recovered at the Red Roof Inn, Shantavia Hayden was arrested and charged with second-degree homicide and second-degree CA in connection with her son's death.
Man.
She was held at the county jail in lieu of a $1 million bond.
Yes, sir.
During a pretrial hearing, Shantavia appeared remotely
$1 million, so
in front of
they
Judge
on that
James
ass.
Biernat Jr. in Macomb County Circuit
They was
Court.
on that ass.
She told Judge Biernat she wanted to fire her court-appointed attorney, Randy Rodnick. Rodnick, who appeared in person for court, noted he obtained a plea offer from Macomb prosecutors that would have resulted in a 10-year sentence for Shantavia. This is well below the expected sentencing guideline range for charges such as hers.
Shantavia replied that she did not want to plead guilty because she was innocent. She said, quote, "The plea deal is out of the question. I'm not taking no plea, so y'all can stop coming at me with a plea deal because I'm not accepting it. I'm not pleading guilty to no murder because I did not harm my child. Period." End quote.
Bullshit.
She went on to state that she wanted a different attorney representing her at the trial.
You bitch, man.
After further discussion also involving assistant prosecutor Colleen Warden, Judge Biernat said he was reluctantly agreeing to terminate attorney Rodnick and have a county public defender take the case. At trial, Assistant Prosecutor Molly Zapatel told jurors that Amir went from a normal baby after birth to a malnourished child his entire brief life.
Everything
was fine with Amir, except he didn't have food. He starved to death. There is no other cause of death, end quote.
Right.
Assistant Prosecutor Zapatel
definitely.
two photographs
I
of
hope
Amir
they
on a
throw
big
the book
screen.
at that bitch. And
one
she
from
didn't
the
take
hospital and one from his office.
And she didn't take the plea deal too? Oh yeah, definitely. Y'all definitely gotta, bruh, give her that 30 piece real quick. Now I know y'all like to be, the law likes to be lenient when it comes to women. Even if they do some heinous shit, the law loves to, you know, give them a slap on the wrist. If they did some crazy shit, alright. We're gonna give you some time, but not a lot. So it's just, you know, 10, 15, that's not bad. But, bruh, if the roles were reversed and she had I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube. If she was a guy and she did the same crime, y'all would want him under the prison. So the fact that she's a woman, you want to save her a little bit, give her leeway. Like, no, give her the same amount, because that's a life that she took. That's a whole child that was only born. The boy was only on earth for 7 weeks. Let that shit sink in real quick. 7 weeks, not 7 months. 7 weeks he was around. The boy never even, but I mean, you got parents hurting their kids the second day of them being born. We already reacted to videos like that on this channel. It's just some sick ass people in the world, bruh. It's just some really mentally fucked up people out in this world, man. But I'm gonna finish this out because we only got like 3 minutes left, man.
Autopsy, which shows his extremely malnourished condition. She pointed out to the jury that Amir at the hospital was a chunky little baby, and then pointed out what happened to him 7 weeks later. Assistant Prosecutor Zapatel asserted Shantavia may not have intentionally tried to kill Amir, but create a high risk of death or great bodily harm in which death was a likely result, an element of second-degree homicide. She speculated perhaps she was angry at Amir's father for not being involved with the baby, although one of her 3 other children was also fathered by him. It should be noted that the other 3 children were described as very well fed. According to the assistant prosecutor, Shantavia never took Amir to a doctor's visit and downplayed his condition to paramedics after she called 911 to a residence 10 days before Amir's death due to him choking up baby formula. She went on to accuse the mother of lying to police when she said after the baby's death that she fed him 12 hours before and had been feeding him 3 to 4 bottles of formula per day. Although that amount is still about half of what a baby needs to survive.
Right.
Additionally, she stated that Shantavia lied to receive more government assistance than she was entitled to,
That's
such as state
crazy.
unemployment benefits and federal benefits under WIC. The prosecutor said this demonstrated the mother's lack of credibility.
I told you.
Assistant Prosecutor Zapatel speculated that Shantavia may have spent some money on drugs, as there was evidence she was a drug user, and that Amir was born with drugs in his system.
Damn.
During his closing argument, Shantavia's new attorney, Andrew Hubbs, said that his client did not receive more benefits than she deserved and that she was a struggling mother. After Amir's death, she was struggling with the
loss
of her child.
Get a job. What are you talking about?
He asked jurors to find her not guilty because the prosecution had not proven its case, and so that she could move on with her life in the grieving process.
Fuck her.
Excuse me, sir?
Fuck her life. She killed that baby.
Judge James Beardad Jr., who presided over the more than 1 week trial, rejected Attorney Hubb's request to allow the jury to consider manslaughter as a potential verdict.
That judge said, get that bullshit out of here. That bitch going to jail.
On Shantavia's part, as she was later found guilty and convicted on all charges on Thursday, September 22nd, 2022.
Yes, sir.
The jury only deliberated for 2 hours. According to Assistant Macomb Prosecutor Colleen Warden, quote, "We are happy that the jury listened intently to all of the evidence and rendered a verdict that delivered justice for baby Amir."
Yes, sir, man.
On November 23rd, 2022, Shantavia Hayden was sentenced to 27.5 to 50 years in prison. I guess she should have taken that deal. She's currently serving her time at Women's Huron Valley Correctional Facility in Ypsilanti, Michigan. And her earliest release date is April 22nd, 2048.
Damn.
Amir's story, like many of the stories of children that we cover, has left us with a lot of questions. If the little boy was born with a cocktail of drugs in his system, why didn't DHS
I feel like she still deserved more, though.
Furthermore, why was Shantavia allowed to leave the hospital with him? In addition, 911 was dispatched to her home on October 1st, 10 days prior to Amir's death, due to him throwing up the formula. This would have been clear evidence that there was something wrong with this little baby.
Right.
He would have looked very sickly. Why didn't the emergency personnel take action? Although we have a lot of love for Detroit and its residents, their DHS system needs a lot of improvement when it comes to helping children like Amir and many other children whose cases we've discussed over the years.
Right.
Something has got to be done to change that.
No, that's a fact. But you know, in certain neighborhoods, especially in urban neighborhoods, they'll take their time with shit like that. In the hoods, where it's black and brown populated, they'll take their time with certain things. Like, they're not gonna rush. Like, if somebody got hurt, somebody got shot, and somebody got harmed, any kids, they'll take their time. But if it was in a certain neighborhood, oh yeah, they'll move quicker because they know that neighborhood is more friendlier. Okay, let's just say it like that. It's more friendlier. But that's another topic for another day, man. I'm happy she got the time that she deserves. That bitch ain't shit. That baby deserve R.I.P. that boy. R.I.P. baby Amir, man. He ain't deserve that. To be born with drugs in his system and then die like 7 weeks later. Like, that's crazy as hell, bruh. But hey, man. And then I can't believe the lawyer tried to make that shit. Oh, she was an addict. We should deliberate. No, deliberate these nuts, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. But with all that being said, y'all let me know your comments down below. What you thought about this video in the comment section down below. I'll be checking the comment section and I'll reply back to y'all, no problem. But with all that, hey, it's the end of the video. Alright, y'all, this is the end of that video. This was Mom Says about her skeleton baby. I just fed him. Lying bitch. But hey, man, yeah, she got the time that she deserves, so I gotta be happy for that. At least they ain't let her off the hook. Cause if they let her off the hook, I would have been pissed off. Cause it's like, how are you allowing monsters like that back into the street from harming her baby? Me personally, I feel like y'all already know. Y'all already heard me say it on this channel. I'm a hard I'm a hard, fuck it. I stand with the whole penalty. I stand with that penalty. I stand besides with that. I believe in that. Hey, man, if y'all don't roast me in the comments, I just got off of work. Niggas is tired as hell. Y'all don't understand. But yeah, man, I stand with the penalty for people that harm children. Harm people, but damn sure harm kids. Like, expect man or woman, I don't give a damn. I feel like she deserved a lot more time because that kid had drugs that she had taken in his system. That's one. And then 2, you malnourish him. Take the money that was for him, not for you, bitch. It's for the kid. And then you use it to get drugs and other shit that's unnecessary while you don't feed this boy that dies within 7 weeks of his life. Yeah. 50, 60, 70, maybe 100. That bitch should have got more time. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation. When any other situation you want me to react to next, I'm down to react to whatever. Y'all already know what this is. Leave it in the comment section down below. And also leave this video a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, go show love to all the channels that's going to be in my description box down below. Those same channels are going to be on my featured channels as well. So go show love, man, because it does not cost a single thing to show love. With all that being said, I'm going to get up out of here. So until next time, be blessed, be highly favored, and stay protected. You never know what the fuck going on as soon as you step out that door. But until